7 Academy Awards, 7 Independent Spirit Awards, 5 Critics' Choice Awards, 4 SAG Awards, 2 Golden Globes, 1 BAFTA, more than 300 honors and nominations. Everything Everywhere All at Once is the most awarded film in history. Why? Why is this genre-bending acid trip through the multiverse so popular and well-received? Why do people connect so much with these characters and this story? Why do these rocks make people cry? There's no single answer to any of these questions, but I'll try to answer them as best I can. Quick note, just wanted to point out that all of the editing and visual effects in this film were accomplished by a team of 5, who primarily used Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects, which are the same programs that I use. The editing in this film is absolutely masterful, and they deserve the hell out of that Best Film Editing Academy Award. Here's a quick summary of the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it and come back when you're done. There will be extensive spoilers throughout this video. Evelyn lives with her husband Waymond and her aging father Gong Gong in a small apartment above a laundromat. Her relationship with her distant daughter Joy is faltering. In the midst of an IRS audit, she discovers that a multiversal being, Jobu Tupaki, is after her. Evelyn learns to verse jump and gains different abilities from her alternate life paths. Jobu Tupaki is revealed to be Joy, and she has built a quote-unquote everything bagel that contains everything in the multiverse. Evelyn, along with an alternate Waymond and Gong Gong, try to stop her, believing that she will use this bagel to destroy everything. Evelyn pushes her mind too far and becomes a multiversal being like Joy. Joy reveals that the bagel is actually meant to destroy herself. So Evelyn uses her love for both Waymond and Joy to stop her daughter from leaving, and she chooses to stay in her original timeline. Of course, this film is very complicated and honestly takes a few watches to understand completely. From martial arts to science fiction to fantasy to surreal comedy to animation, Everything Everywhere All at Once has been described as a swirl of genre anarchy. There's always something new to look at. From the Matrix-esque Alphaverse to hot dog fingers, this movie makes it clear that literally anything is possible in the multiverse. There's even a shot of the editors working on the film. And there are some other meta moments, such as these shots of Evelyn as a movie star, which are actually clips of Michelle Yeoh herself on the red carpet. There's a sequence where Evelyn and Joy become crayon drawings. All of these medium and genre changes make this film a maximalist joyride through Evelyn's alternate lives. This is something that keeps the film constantly interesting and fresh, although it can be overstimulating for a lot of audiences. It's unconventional, especially for an Oscar-winning film. The Academy is not exactly known for acknowledging films like this, much less awarding them Best Picture. But in a world overrun with sequels, prequels, remakes, reboots, adaptations, Everything Everywhere All at Once really stands out as a uniquely creative piece.
I still want to be here with you.
Existentialism is a philosophical theory or approach that emphasizes the existence of the individual person as a free and responsible agent, determining their own development through acts of the will. Joy doesn't understand why Evelyn would choose to stay in the timeline where she didn't manage to accomplish what she wanted. In a multiverse filled with endless possibilities, why would Evelyn choose to stay with her daughter and her husband in a laundromat? Why wouldn't she choose to stay in the universe where she's a successful movie star? It all boils down to one thing: free will. Evelyn is a free agent. She has the ability to determine her own development through acts of will. She could certainly choose to live in another life, especially because she seems so disappointed in the one she's living. The only thing stopping her is her love for Joy. She recognizes that her daughter is in pain and needs that relationship to pull her back in. So she decides, by her own free will, that she just wants to be with her daughter, no matter where that might be. Of all the places she could be, she just wants to be there with Joy. This, of course, also applies to the relationship between Evelyn and Waymond. At first, Evelyn views her husband as weak and silly, and she doesn't fully appreciate their relationship. Waymond is considering a divorce because of the aloofness between them. After Evelyn's mind is open to the multiverse, she realizes how Waymond has stuck by her side in countless lifetimes. He exists as a perfect balance against Evelyn's coldness and seriousness. In the alternate timeline where Evelyn is a martial artist and a movie star, Waymond reminisces about their youth and reveals his feelings for Evelyn, which he has held all his life. Even though he is successful in this timeline, he maintains that he would have liked doing laundry and taxes with Evelyn. His free will allowed love to triumph over success, and he would choose Evelyn in any lifetime, even one where neither of them managed to accomplish what they wanted. They have each other. Once Evelyn realizes this as well, the spark reignites and she chooses love. She chooses to stop fighting and love like Waymond.
Nothing matters.
Nihilism is the rejection of all moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. This philosophy is shown through two characterizations, Joy and Evelyn. Joy has seen everything the multiverse has to offer. She has nothing left to discover, nothing left to learn, nothing to do but everything. I mean, once you have the ability to do everything, you have nothing more to do. This is what causes Joy to adopt the mindset that nothing matters. Life is meaningless. There's nothing else. The audience is led to believe that Joy wants to destroy the multiverse with her everything bagel, but then she reveals that she only wants to destroy herself. Everything on Earth that you will experience only matters because it is finite. It has a purpose because one day it won't. Life experiences are both anticipated and cherished because one day our lives on Earth will end. For Joy, there's no end in sight. She has the capacity to live on forever in her many lives throughout the multiverse. The only end she has is the bagel. Joy is consumed by this nihilism and only wants to find someone who shares her sentiments before she goes. So she amasses followers who almost worship the bagel, but none of them can truly understand what Joy is experiencing. That is until Evelyn opens her mind. Suddenly, Evelyn is experiencing everything that Joy is. Everything, everywhere, all at once. The sudden explosion of self catapults Evelyn into the same nihilistic mindset as Joy. She feels as though nothing matters anymore, and that the consequences of her actions are trivial in the expanse of the multiverse. This foreboding sense of nihilism almost causes them both to end themselves before Evelyn realizes that there are things that matter, even though they seem so pointless compared to everything else.
Joy? Why do you look so stupid?
Intergenerational trauma is the transmission to younger generations of the oppressive or traumatic events of a historical event. Throughout the film, we see how intergenerational trauma has affected each member of the Wong family. When Gong Gong abandoned Evelyn, it caused a rift in their relationship that Evelyn is now trying to repair, even if Gong Gong hasn't changed. Evelyn has been affected by this abandonment her entire life, and she passed down some of this trauma to Joy. Joy feels abandoned, but in a different way. Even though her parents, specifically Waymond, are eager to maintain a relationship, Joy feels distance because of her mother's reaction to her sexuality, her girlfriend Becky, her tattoo, and a smattering of other judgmental comments. Evelyn's abandonment issues also affect Waymond. She sees Waymond as the root cause of her disappointments in life and treats him coldly. At its core, Everything Everywhere All at Once is about healing relationships. Waymond uses a clay pot metaphor to explain how Evelyn's mind, the pot, cannot contain too much information before it begins to crack. He says the clay pot must be mended before it starts to leak and eventually break apart. This metaphor also applies to Evelyn's relationships with her family. Her relationship with Joy is slowly fading throughout the movie, but the two of them work together to mend the pot in the end. Evelyn realizes that Waymond is the love of her life and that choosing him was not a mistake after all. She also helps Gong Gong come to terms with his regret after abandoning her. He lets her save Joy against his better judgment because he knows how Evelyn feels. Each relationship is somewhat broken at the beginning of the film, but by the end, each character works together to mend the cracks in the clay pot and start anew. Thank you for watching.